Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be big box store plant shopping at Lowe's out in Prosper, Texas. As always, please make sure you are hitting the like button for this video, as well as following me on Instagram at Grow Folds. That is the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me directly. So definitely follow me on Instagram. It is a beautiful morning, and I can't believe that we're less than 48 hours away to the new year. Definitely have a lot to reflect on this year, and I'll talk about it throughout this plant shopping video. But before we do that, I did want to put this little plug in. Yourself like looking at social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, about what trending plants are there. So like say there's like a new plant release, all of a sudden you already have all of these plants.
Exactly.
But then you want to go ahead and add that variegated monstera or just some new release.
I'm much better with it now.
He has allocations. He's got an allocation.
He has the magic touch then.
Either the magic touch or
he has
something. He has a poly, an allocation poly, no spider mites. He doesn't really water it, and it's in like a overlooked plants. They also have another common trait. They're cost effective.
Yeah.
The price is right for the majority of us, unless you're one of those folks that can, drop $1,000 on a variegated whatever
Which
plant.
I could do that. A lot of the plants that we think are specialty plants here are technically not. And again, for those that have not gone to the Cultivation Corner official YouTube channel, please search Cultivation Corner and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is a plant podcast that I've worked with my friends Janae Simone and Steven of I Live Plants. Definitely subscribe to their YouTube channels. But the episode 4 has premiered, and we have many more episodes that are going to premiere. Season 2 is going to be in the works early January 2025. So definitely stay tuned to that. I will say that creating a plant podcast with my friends has been a lot of fun. I love the fact that I can create plant shopping videos, daily 1-hour plant shopping videos for my plant foldies. And for those that are new to the channel, I call my viewers and subscribers plant foldies. Welcome to the channel. My name is Richie. I do faceless YouTube videos, so you typically will not see my face. And as far as the reason being, again, it is because I really want to focus on the plant content. This isn't really a lifestyle blog for me per se. I do insert a lot of my plant insights, my plant commentary, and have been a little bit more vocal about just my personal life during the live premiere chats as well as the plant shopping videos. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, it is an early morning, and I love to go plant shopping early in the morning. I did want to show you Lowe's. You notice how all the Christmas trees have disappeared. There are no more Christmas trees out. It is literally January. Actually, no, it is actually December 30th. I swear all of my days have just kind of been jumbled up. It has been a very stressful, very busy holiday season. I am thankful that I am out of the holidays and I was able to spend it with my family on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Highlight of it would be the fact that I was able to spend some time with my grandmother. And for those that have followed my YouTube videos, you already know I've gotten into plants because of my grandmother. A lot of my plant knowledge is really based on just the experiences I had with her and the fact that I've been able to spend time with my grandmother, who will be turning 90 next year. Super excited about that. That was just a lot of fun. But as you can see right here, whenever you are going plant shopping right after the holidays, you'll see a lot of the seasonal plants either pretty much on clearance, such as like these Norfolk pine. These are, I believe, are 50% off, as well as poinsettias. Now, these are by Costa Farms, and you can see right here, this is for $12.98. I don't think they've clearanced these out, and I do like the fact that these have the ornaments as well. Norfolk pine, it's quite interesting because a lot of people will consider these like conifers, but these are actually more of a tropical plant. When it actually matures to a large size, it doesn't even really look like a Norfolk pine. It really changes its shape. And if you haven't ever seen a mature version, definitely look up Norfolk pine. Now, Norfolk pine, especially in the months of November and December, are prevalent. A lot of people will utilize them as Christmas trees, but you can actually grow this plant as a long-term house plant. Same thing with a poinsettia. I will say I did buy some poinsettias in, over the holidays, I was really just tempted to, and I looked for the variegated versions. One of them, unfortunately, made it to Plant Heaven. And yes, I was one of those people that ended up just buying poinsettias just so I could have it as a holiday decoration. I did intend to actually grow it long term, but I am the type of person that doesn't necessarily water my plants as consistent. And with poinsettias, for instance, they need to be watered on a consistent basis. Otherwise, if you let them dry out too long, they shed their leaves, they drop their leaves to the point where they're just not cosmetically pleasing to the eye. And so I ended up just parting ways with the poinsettia. Now you can see right here, this cypress right here is for $64.98. And it's interesting because Lowe's, at least this big box store, has removed the ribbons and the ornaments. So now they're just being sold as like shrubs. And you can't go to a big box store without taking a look at some of the succulents and cactus. I will show the plant IDs. I'm not really versed with succulents and cactus, but I will tell you they are still pretty interesting plants. I will say some of our plant foldies are into succulents and cactus. Therefore, I try to feature these succulents and cactus. I know everybody on the channel may have an eclectic view of what plants they want to collect, and I didn't realize that there was a lot more people that are into succulents and cactus that I actually give these plants credit for. I mean, this one right here is a Crassula obliqua, lime and lemon. Really like this pretty much jade plant. It's a variegated form. That is one succulent that I'm most familiar with because my grandmother and my mom grew this when I was a child. And you can see right over here, they have some more colorful cactus. So I'm just going to pick up a couple, as you can see right here. Now, as I think about, the year 2025 coming just in the next 48 hours, there are a lot of goals that I want to set forth. But again, a lot of people will try to make these New Year's resolutions. For me, I will jot down a couple of goals and see if I can get them accomplished. As far as this year, I have been able to accomplish a lot of my goals. And one of my goals was really to make it to a couple of plant shows, plant conventions. I was able to make it to 3. I was able to make PlantCon 2024 in Houston, PlantCon 2024 in Dallas, and I was able to go to Texas Aeroid Show 2024 in Houston. So that was one of my goals. Another goal of mine that I was able to accomplish was to be able to successfully get plants from overseas in really good health, and just to be able to bring some sales to the people that I bought plants from overseas. Really excited about that. So those are some of the goals that I was able to do planty wise. It's one of those things where you have certain goals you create, whether it's big or small. If you are able to accomplish even a small goal, I always encourage people to celebrate those wins, celebrate the small wins. I know that I was struggling slightly the last month or so, just making plant content. It is always my goal to create daily 1-hour plant shopping videos or plant content. And the reason being is not because you haven't seen the plants I've featured, not because you haven't seen the format of me picking up plants, giving you plant insights and giving you commentary, but it was more so to pretty much bring forth all of the plant foldies during the live premiere chats, because I know, at least for me, I look forward to interacting with you guys on the live premiere chats, seeing each other, being able to get to know y'all, and just being able to converse and even get to know each other on a personal level. Now, I don't know if that might be the draw of this plant YouTube channel, just that extra level of engagement in the fact that we do have these live chats. I will say the plant foldy community is awesome, and I'm hoping that in 2025 we continue to grow that. I was hoping to get to 12,000 subscribers by the end of the year, but it doesn't look like it unless we can get another 800 or 700 subscribers between now and January 1st. But I'm still very happy with the growth of this channel. I'll go into depth on my New Year's Eve live premiere. I'm even thinking about doing a live stream. Plant foldies, if you are interested in me doing like a Q&A live stream or just live streams in general, please leave that in the comments. And if you made it this far into the video, please make sure that you are hitting the like button for this video. It definitely helps with the plants this plant channel growing, because YouTube will push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself, the more engagement we have. But as you can see, plant foldies, beautiful morning. And I am showing you that some of these planters, like this one is $25.12. It is a basket and it does have some clear lining there. So you can literally put a planter in there and have like a boho type styling. And that's the thing I wanted to go touch base on for future content is plant styling. A couple of updates I did want to let you know is over the weekend, I was able to gift myself a Christmas gift. I was able to get 2 IKEA cabinets. My brother-in-law came over and actually put that together. And so I'm really excited to finally get my plants organized, to be able to show the plant foldies some quality home tour. I want to go delve into more plant styling, maybe life updates, home interior decorating, all of that good stuff, because I do think that my home that I have is a very cozy home, a very stylish home. And, you know, I'm hoping that I can share that with the plant foldies soon. Now, whenever you go to a big box store, you'll notice that like the same plants are pretty much prevalent. You'll see all of these grafted cactus, you'll see these cosmic cactus, you'll see the easy care plants, you'll see the trending tropicals by Costa Farms, you'll see your shrubs, you'll see your annuals, you'll see all of that. I am interested to document and film a lot of the plant shopping videos for December, late December, early January, because I feel like through the seasons, certain plants make it into the market, whether it's outdoor plants or indoor tropical plants. And so I hope that you guys will continue to tune into the chats, the live premiere chats, and definitely stay with me as I do my plant shopping. But as far as this location, the Prosper location, which is really North Custer Road, if you're out in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I happen to be based out in North Dallas. This is one of the best Lowe's to go plant shopping for indoor tropical plants or just plants in general. I mean, they do have a plethora of different types of plant products. You can see right here, this Osmocote, for instance. If you're asking me what plant products I use, this one is for $14.98. I use Osmocote fertilizer. I think it's a really good slow release fertilizer, especially if you're the type of person like me that doesn't necessarily have the best consistent routines when it comes to plant care. And that's the thing about me. I don't mind being transparent about it. I do realize that some plant influencers, plant YouTubers, which I don't really know if I really, categorize myself as one of those, because I don't have like hundreds of thousands of followers. They have immaculate plant collections, but at the same time, I will challenge even the plant influencers and plant YouTubers of not necessarily having the most perfect collections. I think when it comes to creating content, especially with social media, especially with AI technology, it's easy to fabricate what you want your viewers to see. I don't mind telling you that I am an underwaterer and have sent 14 plus Hydra Helix to Plant Heaven. And for those that don't know what Hydra Helix is, it's really Hedera Helix English Ivy. I have sent so many plants to Plant Heaven. And if you haven't watched the plant podcast, Cultivation Corner episode 4, how to get out of plant burnout, I definitely encourage you to check it out. I definitely want you to listen, and if those who want to watch the actual plant podcast show, you'll get some plant insights about just how to get out of plant burnout. I will say I was on the verge of actually having plant burnout this past December, or at least this holiday season, because I just felt like I couldn't keep up with all of the plants. I couldn't keep up with my plant content. I wasn't spending enough time with me outside of social media. And so those are things that I would always tell people as you watch my plant shopping videos. I'll give you some of my insights, my personal revelations about just plants and how to get out of those ruts, how to get out of plant burnout. I always tell people, and I've said this even on the plant podcast, is to give yourself grace. I used to feel really bad plant foldies whenever I wouldn't be able to go to like a big box store like Lowe's to feature something like this beautiful hanging basket. For instance, these look like petunias on a daily basis. And so I sometimes resort to recycling some of my plant shopping videos into compilations and marathons. And really it's because some people might even prefer longer playing content, but more so just so we can have that live premiere chat. I cannot tell you, plant foldies, what joy you guys bring, what joy it brings to others based on what your comments for just having you guys on the live premiere chats. And if you haven't seen on the live premiere chats, I figured a new option on live premieres, which actually can potentially help this channel financially. And that's me creating chat goals. So basically it's either a super sticker or a super thanks. It's a monetary tip that you can give via YouTube, via the live premiere chats. Or if you're just watching this video right now, if you hit that $sign, that is one way to send a monetary tip. I will say for those that have given me super stickers, especially during the live premiere chats or just randomly during a comment, thank you so much. It really does help fund this channel in terms of just the gas I spend driving all over the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and even just to get into some of these plant conventions and things of that nature. It does fund me, and I hope that you guys will support me that way if you are willing to. It's not a necessity, but that is an option during the live premiere chats. But let me go ahead and talk to you guys about the plants. You can already tell, Plant Foldies, that I just love to talk. Sometimes I ramble on aside from plants. Sometimes I wonder if I should just do a lifestyle blog and actually do a full-blown face reveal. But I love the fact that I'm kind of just like that person, that musician called Sia, where you don't really know what I look like unless you find me filming at a local plant nursery. And it's interesting that I've met a lot of Plant Foldies that have recognized me as soon as I start talking to them. They'll be like, "Oh, you're Richie from Grow Folds. I can recognize you from your voice." So I really think that that's exciting. Some people have mentioned that my voice is very much me. They really associate it to this plant channel. So thank you for that. I will say this plant, for instance, this is a Tradescanthia Nanook for $5.98. I love the fact that this plant is readily available right now at this particular Lowe's. I have been tempted to purchase it, but one thing that I've been exercising in terms of plant shopping is knowing when I don't necessarily have to buy the plant, understanding whether a plant is a want or a need. And when we talk about that during the Cultivation Corner Plant podcast, a plant that is a want is basically a wish list plant, a plant that you don't necessarily have to buy that very day. It's a plant that you can aspire to buy because, number one, you may not necessarily have the funds to buy, or number two, it is not a plant that you have to have in your plant collection based on whether you have too many plants already, based on whether you don't have the lighting conditions or the environmental needs of the plant, or a combination of factors. Now, if a plant is considered a need, that is a plant that you must buy today. And that, being able to differentiate a want or a need is really crucial in whether we grow our plant collections, whether we grow plant burnout because we have just felt like every single plant we buy is a need. So I just wanted to put that out there, that Tradescanthia Nanook is a want. It's not that it's not affordable. It's more of I just have so many plants in my plant collection that I could just admire it when I go plant shopping. But as you can see right here, all of the holiday seasonal plants have pretty much disappeared. All of the seasonal Christmas trees, ornaments, everything is gone and have been replaced with a bunch of plastic storage bins. I mean, you can see right here, Plant Foldies, we do have a restock, and I'm super excited about that. I'm excited at the fact that we have some more Live Trends restocks. Look at these beautiful self-watering planters. Now, these ones are for $14.98. This one is a silver band Marantha. Love the look of this plant, and like I mentioned before, when it comes to I would just say Live Trends, they are so curated in the way they approach their planters. They make very good planters for plant styling. They've got that very modern vibe, modern look about it. And I appreciate that a lot with Live Trends. I definitely want to collect their plants. I do think that their plant pricing is affordable. I think it's fair. And it's one of those things where, look at this. This is a beautiful Live Trends planter, and it is a self-watering planter. And if you've been watching my videos, I've been converting a lot of my plants into semi-hydro substrate. So basically, I've either utilized Lechuzapon or Leca. I'm still disappointed that there isn't any Lechuzapon available on Amazon for a cost-effective price. So I've kind of just had to utilize Leca, but converting these plants into semi-hydroponic substrates, I've had to utilize a lot of self-watering planters because I want to have like a catch pot, and that has really helped with my plant care as in terms of just being able to stay on top of the watering needs of my plants. Now, as far as Live Trends, they've jumped on the bandwagon of self-watering planters. I would say Costa Farms is another one that has always had self-watering planters, but it's nice to see Live Trends on the bandwagon. And Live Trends, if you're going to ask me who I would dub as having the most stylistic planters, definitely Live Trends. Like you can see right here, that is a parlor palm, really nice looking plant. And again, all of these self-watering planters, all of those plants right here are for $14.98. And as I pan away, this whole aisle right here are just a bunch of Live Trends plants, as well as a couple of Urban Jungle hanging baskets. So we're going to take a look at that today, plant foldies. And I did want to ask plant foldies if you have any New Year's resolutions, what you are looking forward to in 2025. How was your holidays? Please leave that in the comments. You already know that I read every single comment in the comment section, whether it is negative or positive. And I've had a slew of some negative comments, but I will say thank you to those that love me for who I am, who appreciate my authenticity, and for respecting my decisions on what I want to do with this plant YouTube channel. I appreciate y'all so much. And the fact that you've come out the woodworks and really just come out in a respectful manner. I always say feedback is great, critiques are great, but we should always go through it in a positive light. And so as far as like the comments in the comment section, please engage with me. Let me know how things are going. Let me know what plants you guys are buying. Let me know what plants you'd like to see. I want to see it all. I want to engage. I want to see all those comments. But as you can see right here, plant foldies, that was a booby cactus, and that one's for $8.98. All of Live Trends planters are amazing, and I just can't get over the fact that they're so stylistic. Like, look at this one right here. Now, this is another Haworthia, and I did want to announce that I am super excited. This is another unboxing video that I hope you guys will watch. It is going to be an unboxing video for Succulents Asia. If you don't know what Succulents Asia is, it's basically like Green Spaces ID, where it is an Asian seller out in Indonesia that has rare and uncommon succulents and cactus. I will be getting a shipment from them fairly soon, and I'm hoping to promote their plants because they have so many Sansevieria or different types of snake plants that I've never seen. And you know, as far as like, you know, easy care plants, you know, you've got Haworthias like this, for instance, but Sansevieria or snake plants are a go-to plant. And the fact that there's a lot of rare and uncommon ones, really appreciate that Succulents Asia reached out to me via Instagram to do a collaboration. So I'm hoping that I can give you guys some quality content. And for those that have never gotten plants from overseas, definitely check out Succulents Asia. Definitely check out Green Spaces ID. They make getting plants overseas so simple. You don't even have to worry about having an import license because they have a legal broker that's able to get those plants legally into the United States. And as far as their shipping, I mean, you can see in my future and past videos from Green Spaces ID, they do it well. That's how I've been able to get my Aglaonemas. That's how I've been able to get a lot of these more uncommon plants that you wouldn't necessarily see at a big box store. Now, as far as like big box store plants, take a look at this Peperomia obtusifolia variegata self-watering planter for $14.98. And I'm just going to keep picking up plants by Live Trends to show you this new plant restock. I mean, they are getting ready for 2025, I would suppose. And I am excited to see what 2025 brings in terms of what new plant releases will be there, what you think is going to be the it plant, what plants will be trending. Leave that in the comments. And again, plant foldies, if you made it this far into the video, number one, thank you for watching all the way through so far. And number two, please make sure you are hitting the like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And number three, if you feel inclined to send a super sticker or super thanks, I would really appreciate that. But again, as far as all of the plants, I'm just surprised that they actually got a restock already. I am excited to see that Live Trends has a lot of these new plants. This one right here is a very juvenile baby form of a ponytail palm. You can see that there's not even a caudex or a trunk ready. It looks almost like ornamental grass. And, you know, as far as the Live Trends plants, I do think that for $14.98, you get a really nice, healthy looking plant. And the planter itself is stunning. I am not a big fan of the artificial or sphagnum moss. I think that they can do something else in terms of the topsoil, but other than that, I don't really have any more critiques because Live Trends does it right, and I am a huge fan. I hope that people will continue to buy Live Trends plants because they have so many varieties. Their plants are great, and I love the planters. Super stylish, and I love that minimalistic approach that they have for it.
Now check out this gorgeous philodendron moonlight. Love this philodendron moonlight right over here. Look at how gorgeous that yellow leaf is. And you already know plant foldies. I love neon colored plants, and that's something I am looking forward to for the new year, is collecting more of these neon colored plants. I love the neon pothos. I love the neon plants that I can find at a big box store like this. And the fact that Live Trends again has released a 6-inch planter. This one I think is for $19.98. Really nice, healthy looking plant. And you know, people ask me all the time, when is the best time to buy plants at a big box store? I would say as soon as they unload those plants, and you can tell that this is a plant restock because all of these plants are super healthy. They're super lush. They just came straight from the nurseries that they were grown from, and you can definitely tell that these are very fresh shipments. And that's what I would say whenever you are shopping right after the holidays, like literally right after December 25th, you will see that a lot of retailers are on, like, basically on a timeline to reset their seasonal, you know, items into a restock, whether it's preparing for the new year. And when it comes down to like plants, for instance, you'll be able to find big box stores carry new plants. I can almost guarantee you a lot of our big box stores like Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart will start to get a bunch of new plants. And this is another example of why it's always fun for me to just continue to go to these big box stores on a daily basis. For me, it's just being able to do some of these plant discoveries. The fact that I'm able to find a gorgeous philodendron moonlight for only $19.98 by Live Trends. And I'm a huge fan of the planter it's in. I am all about that. And I'm hoping that we can continue to find more of these new restocks. I will be more inclined to getting more of these big box stores filmed. I feel like things have slowed down slightly. I would say slightly for me when it comes to these big box stores. At least in terms of just getting new content out there, I'm able to get to these big box stores versus being so swamped with work and just the holiday season in general. But you can see right over here another gorgeous Monstera deliciosa. You can tell that these are fresh shipments right over here by Live Trends. Love the planter. You can see it's very modern looking. They've got a matte glaze finish and then a shiny glaze finish. And can we say how gorgeous these heart-shaped leaves are for the Monstera deliciosa? I've always been a fan of Monstera deliciosa, but the juvenile form, like, I really wish it could just remain juvenile and not sometimes fenestrate and get large. I just think these heart-shaped leaves on a plant are so gorgeous. Now, if there's anybody that is aware of a plant that holds on to just a heart-shaped leaf like this without fenestrating or splitting, please leave that in the comments. But for these juvenile form Monstera deliciosas, I would totally buy them. And, you know, as far as Monstera deliciosas, whenever I'm going to a big box store or a local nursery, I am always on the hunt for plants that could potentially be sport variegated. And what that means is that it has that random variegation. I have yet to be that lucky to go plant shopping and find a variegated Monstera. I would think that my odds would be somewhat high because I'm always at a big box store, but I have yet to get lucky for that. Now take a look at the this beautiful bird's nest fern. This is another variety that I'm not 100% sure what the plant ID is, but you can see that Live Trends has a gorgeous bird's nest fern. I love the serrated leaves right there, that curling on the edges of the leaf. Beautiful plant. And you know, as far as a bird's nest fern, I would actually add a bird's nest fern into my plant collection just because of all the ferns, they seem to be the most durable. The only thing I would say about a bird's nest fern is it would get very large. I've seen these out in a Southeast Asian country like the Philippines where they just get massive. Like they have diameters of like 4 feet in diameter, and it was just a really large plant, but still beautiful plant. Love that it's got more of a neon light green tone about it. And Live Trends has done very well in terms of just their new plant releases. Like, you know, if you were to ask me like what one of my dream jobs would be, if I had to choose any job that would be stable table that would give me good benefits, it would be working for a company that, you know, specializes in plants and just really being the one that makes the decisions on the plants that you would sell, or maybe the planters or how you style your plants, or even being part of that social media presence. I just think that that would be such a fun job. I get that every job has its stresses, but you know, as far as like me, I actually got my bachelor's degree in college in graphic design, and it's funny because I don't really I'm not really in that field. I'm far from the opposite realm of what I'm currently doing as far as a career. But you know, when it comes to like social media, you know, making those stylistic decisions, looking for that artistic impression, that's something that I hope that when I'm able to retire, and I'm hoping to be retired in the next 8 to 10 years, I'll be able to really delve into that. Because as far as plants, not only do they bring us joy, right? Not only do they help with our mental health, I think plants are a way of having that artistic impression. Now, plant foldies, let me know in the comments if you agree, if you feel like, say, the plants you bring into your home is an artistic way of displaying your plants, or an artistic expression. Just let me know what you think. And as far as let me know what you think about these Live Trend ceramic planters, I love the hanging basket series that they have here. You can see that this is another fresh Epipremnum aureum golden pothos. Easy care for plants that I would recommend anybody buying. Even the Syndapsis right here, I think this is a Syndapsis silver, and now these are all for $16.98. And while it is somewhat pricey for a 4-inch ceramic planter, I wouldn't mind paying it because of the planter itself. I think that when it comes to Live Trends, yes, you might be able to find a plant that price for a little bit more cost effective, but in terms of just the stylistic expression of the plants, I love it. I love the grays, I love the matte creams, I love all that it is to do with like Live Trends. And you know, I'm spending the majority of my time during this plant shopping video featuring a lot of the Live Trends plants, because I know I spent quite a bit of time on Costa Farms. I love Costa Farms, although I find it interesting that some people have their own opinions about Costa Farms. I will just tell you, anybody that is able to get a Costa Farms plant, or even a Live Trends plant, or an Urban Jungle plant, or an Altman's plant, be thankful that these big growers are able to provide these plants at cost-effective pricing. Now, there is this debate on these big box stores getting these types of nurseries to provide, whether it's impacting small businesses. I would say definitely support small businesses. Even though I do big box or plant shopping videos, I will always gravitate to a small business or a local nursery. It's just that not everybody lives in an area like the Dallas-Fort Worth area where we have access to so many big box stores like Lowe's, Home Depot, or Walmart. So that's why I feel like, you know, plants, there's always going to be, you know, consumers for whatever venue or whatever audience you're trying to appeal to. It just so happens that big box stores tend to appeal to a wider audience because of the accessibility, or at least that's my opinion. Now, as far as the plants I've been picking up, you'll notice that we have all of these plants. Every single plant I picked up pretty much is an easy care for plant, and this is my favorite pothos. I'll go out there and just say I love the neon pothos. I think it is very versatile. I think it's very striking, and it is such an easy to care for plant. It is a plant that you can basically grow fairly quickly, even though it's got that neon coloration. It is also just very easy to propagate. You can take plant cuttings and all of a sudden you have multiple Epipremnum aureum neon pothos. And that's the thing about neon pothos. It is a readily available plant, and just because it's not a rare or uncommon plant, it doesn't mean that you can't put it in your plant collection. Plant foldies, it doesn't mean that you can't celebrate and be so excited about a pothos plant. You know, a lot of people will overlook plants. A lot of people will think that plants that are overlooked are not really worth anything as far as being worthy of being in a plant collection or being in somebody who collects more of these uncommon plants. But truthfully, a lot of these easy to care for plants are the plants that are going to bring you the most joy, because they do not require nearly as much, I would say nearly as much follow-up, nearly as much
care as a plant that is a little bit more uncommon or even rare, that costs more money. So I always feel like we have to balance that out. I would be a hypocrite to say that I don't seek after uncommon and rare plants. I do, and I'm willing to spend just a little bit more money for some, money for some of them. But at the same time, I am also all about these easy to care for plants like this right here. This is a ZZ Zenzi plant by Live Trends. Again, this is for $14.98 in one of those snowflake type planters, just the little patterns that they have. It's super cute. And this is another ZZ plant that I wouldn't mind getting because it's got such minimal care requirements. It can tolerate lower light conditions. You don't have to water it as much. It is a slower grower, but at the same time, it's an easy care for plant. And I think everybody just needs that in their life. Now, as far as these ficus ginseng, these are now being marketed as bonsai trees. Now, anything, again, as far as the name ficus means that these plants do require quite a bit of bright indirect light. Sometimes full sun will work for them as well. You're going to have to really do your research, or more so make sure that the plant is acclimated to be able to take those light levels, because if it doesn't, then that means that plant is definitely not going to do well. It's probably just going to burn. So whenever it comes down to like bringing a plant to a higher light condition, I always say don't shock your plant. Gradually acclimate them to a higher light condition. Don't just put them out in straight sunlight, or more so don't grow them under a grow light for like 12 hours if it's been sitting in like pretty much deep shade, if that makes any sense. It is all about acclimating your plants. And that goes to my next point in terms of just this plant shopping video. But let's just say I do want to say Hedera Helix. I haven't said that in a while. This is the Hedera Helix. That's the correct way to say it. And if you are new to the channel, do not be frightened. It literally, I just like saying Hedera Helix for my plant foldies. This one is the Ingrid Liz Ivy. Beautiful plant. Finicky plant, you already know the thing about it. It's spider mite prone, not the easiest plant to grow indoors long term. Needless to say, it's still a beautiful plant, and I would still recommend it if you want something that's pretty and if you want something that's going to challenge you as a plant parent. But to go back to it, in terms of plants, sometimes plants actually decline in health when you first bring them into your home because they're acclimating to the space. Whether it is your lighting conditions, whether it's the temperature of your home, whether it is the humidity levels that you actually place into your home and place that plant into, sometimes it's a little bit of a challenging acclimation period. So don't be discouraged if, say, a plant goes the opposite way. It's literally either acclimating, or you might just have to revisit some of your care tips for your plants. Like, I know that I get a lot of questions about plants that are imported from overseas, or plants that I've just received from overseas. Yes, they look so pretty when they first come out of the box if you've got a really good seller, but it is also common for the plants to go down to one leaf. And the reason being is that plant is acclimating to its space. It's the same thing with plants that make it to a big box store. You've got to think, right? This is a Dracaena dorata, for instance. Now, this is a pretty durable plant. So this is one of those plants that can pretty much withstand any type of environmental changes. But sometimes even the big box store plants that you buy, you got to think, right? They're in these really nice humid greenhouses with temperature control, with, a systemic type or automatic watering systems. They're fertilized, they're groomed, they've just got the optimal conditions. And then they travel far from their nursery into a big box store like Lowe's. As you know, I'm picking these up. These plants are sourced from an actual greenhouse, like Costa Farms greenhouses. They may not always have the best travel conditions, and sometimes plants will go into shock, and plants will even go into shock whenever you bring them into your home. Sometimes they just don't do as well, and that's okay. I would say think of it as acclimation period, and sometimes some plants are just not able to grow into somebody's space. Now, a plant that will always grow into a lot of people's space would be this philodendron cordatum or philodendron heteracea. I don't know really the plant difference or the plant ID for this, but this is for $5.98, and it's one of those easy to care for plants. Now, again, plant foldies, take a look at it. It is just a green plant, but the non-variegated plants, the green varieties of these plants, are always going to be a little bit more of an easier way to grow plants because they don't require nearly as much attention as, say, a variegated plant where there's less chlorophyll for the plant to photosynthesize. Now, as far as easy to care for plants, this calathea, as much as I love it, is not an easy to care for plant. Now, this one, again, plant foldies are for $15.98. And even the calathea rospicta that I bought for $18.98 at Home Depot, the large one in a 10-inch planter, I have been watering it even consistently, like every 3 days, yet it is still getting like crispy brown leaves. So for me, I just would dub calatheas as pretty much being the heartbreaker. They're just very challenging plants. Hydra helix. Again, this is another Hedera helix, or English ivy. Love this. It just doesn't love me back. The fact that I have pretty much sent 14, I think now 15 Hedera helix to plant heaven. It's just one of those things where I'm just gonna have to get off of my plant addiction to that specific plant. And that goes to my next question, plant foldies. Do you feel like you are addicted to plants? I know I am addicted to plants. I've talked about it with Janae Simone and Steven. And yes, our premiere episode from Cultivation Corner Plant Podcast was starting an addiction, which is AKA starting a houseplant collection. Just leave me in the comments if you feel like you cannot control yourself from buying plants, adding more plants that you do not necessarily have the space, time, or energy for. I really want to know your plant insights for that, because as the new year is about to roll around, I just want to see if people are making slight behavioral changes in how they attempt to grow their plants. I've noticed the new trend, especially when it comes to plant YouTubers, are number one, either plant YouTubers are coming back out from being gone from YouTube because they've gotten over plant burnout, or number two, people have become plant burnout to the point where they're either closing shops down, they're either closing their social media down, or number three, another one is just downsizing their plant collection. So just leave me some comments, leave me some insights about that, because as I'm picking up all of these gorgeous plants, and oh my gosh, this is such a beautiful urban jungle planter as well. This is a new planter for $19.98. Beautiful urban jungle plant. This one is the Homelamena Shelby. Downsizing. Everybody has been talking about downsizing their plant collection. So I'm just curious to see if you are in the same boat, if you have downsized your plant collection. I need to downsize my plant collection. I just haven't had time to downsize my plant collection. I do think that this plant addiction has been fed because of all of the plant shopping videos I've been making. But really, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just pretty OCD about a lot of things. And right now, my main squeeze in terms of plants would be the Aglaonema. You will notice that a lot of my content, a lot of my plant insights, a lot of what I talk about on the channel revolves around Aglaonema. So that's just me being me, plant foldies, and hopefully you love me for me and are still in it to watch these plant shopping videos. But I did miss the fact that I haven't been able to really film at least a 1-hour plant shopping video at a big box store for a while. So it's a nice surprise to see that that Lowe's has already restocked some of these new live trends plants. So I am venturing out to see if Costa Farms will have some new exciting trending tropical plants to come out in the next couple of weeks. I noticed that, you know, Costa Farms, Live Trends, Urban Jungles, they tend to like cycle out their new crop of plants every couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. And if you made it this far into the video and you haven't subscribed to the channel and you like that daily 1-hour plant shopping content, definitely hit the subscribe button. But not only hit the subscribe button, please make sure that you are hitting all notifications on, the notification bell, and double checking whether you're all notifications on, because that way you will always be informed whenever I do a live update, whenever I post some new content, because sometimes YouTube will not always inform you on whether I have a new live premiere chat. I will say, as terms of goals for 2025, I don't know if I necessarily can make daily 1-hour plan shopping videos. I've really thought about it, and I feel like some of that energy I spend needs to be spent on my personal life, just the things that I do with all of my friends that I see on a normal basis. I did realize that, especially over the holidays, that the little free time I had, I did invest a lot into the YouTube channel. And while I am a hard worker, while I do believe in being
being passionate about the crafts that we engage ourselves in. I do feel like you guys would understand if I don't necessarily have daily 1-hour plant shopping videos. Maybe if I go down to like 4 times a week, every other day, something of that nature. So I'm just gonna have to figure that out, and we'll see what that looks like. But for now, I am just enjoying myself on this beautiful morning looking at these new plants. You can see as I pan away from here, Live Trends and Urban Jungle have some new planters. Now I've seen this before, but for $13.98, this is such a cute little fiddle fig leaf tree. Love this as well. This Ficus lyrata for me has done very well. I don't really stay as consistent with mine. It does grow under a grow light, and pretty much that grow light is on 24/7, and it hasn't really burned the plant, and it's done very, very well. This is a philodendron lemon lime. I love this plant as well. It's a fast growing plant. It's a plant that needs to be supported on a totem pole or moss pole, and it's easy to propagate. And you can see right over here, $13.98. This is a new Urban Jungle planter. You can see that it's got gray paint on it. I'm not as huge a fan of like the texture or the pattern. Like I really just wish they would have stayed a little bit more simplistic. But then again, plant foldies, everybody has their own plant aesthetics. Everybody has their own interior design aesthetics. For me, it again is a little bit more minimalistic in a sense of how I display my plants. So I am curious, plant foldies, what you think about the Urban Jungle planters. Have you bought Urban Jungle planters, and what you think about their plants? Like this is probably my favorite one, the terracotta with a mix of glaze. I think that that's awesome. And as you pan around here, this is new to me. This is new to me. Urban Jungle, $24.98. They have these hanging baskets, and this is a Scindapsus trubii moonlight in this metallic planter, and even the chains holding it has more of an industrial look about it. That's a pretty neat concept. I would expect more so like Live Trends doing that, but I love the fact that they're mixing it up as far as planters using different types of materials. Now they're using metal. I think that's really cool. And you can see all of the plants here, these hanging baskets. These are all easy to care for plants. Like this one right here, again, Scindapsus silver Ann. Now with Scindapsus silver Ann or Scindapsus plants, definitely provide them with a little bit more bright indirect light. I do think that they're not as tolerant as say an Epipremnum aureum or a neon, or like a Pothos plant. They tend to get a little bit leggy when they don't have nearly as much light. So I would say give it a little bit more light. It will let you know when it needs to get watered because it will curl its leaves. Otherwise, it is an easy to care for plant, and it is a plant that I would highly recommend adding to any plant collection. And then right over here, Epipremnum aureum, Marble Queen Pothos. Love Marble Queen Pothos. Now, I will say again, if you want that high variegation, that cream color, you need to give your Marble Queen Pothos quite a bit of light. Like you can't put it in a darker space in your home and expect it to hold on to its variegation. It could either revert back or it will have more greener leaves and less cream white variegation. Now, if you want to push out more variegation, give it lots more light, because that's the type of plant that the variegation is actually influenced by the amount of bright indirect light it gets. Same thing with a Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil. This one again is by Urban Jungle. Love Philodendron Hederaceum Brazil. It is another easy to care for plant, and surprisingly, it's another plant that is very much so underrated, overlooked, but it is also a plant that's easy to care for and quite inexpensive if you ask my opinion. Now this one right here is become pretty much a common plant, and this is a Silver Band Marantha Urban Jungle plant as well. That hanging basket, the fact that it's in a metal planter, that's pretty cool. Really love the look of that. I love the new concept, and you know, in terms of just the newness that we feel, especially when it's New Year's, I find it quite interesting that a lot of us will feel like, you know, tomorrow's New Year's Eve, Tuesday, right? But then Wednesday is like a brand new beginning. I always tell people though, if you're wanting to make changes, if you're wanting to make new beginnings, don't wait till the new year. Don't wait an extra minute for it. Go ahead and just make the change. Go ahead and just believe that these changes can happen right then and there versus waiting for the new year. So, you know, for a lot of people, the reason why a lot of these New Year's resolutions don't necessarily work out is because we put so much pressure and we put so many quote New Year's resolutions that some of them are not either attainable, or sometimes we have just put too many New Year's resolutions to where we can't really commit to that. And that's kind of synonymous to plants. And hear me out, plant foldies. I've been thinking about this. So we want to grow our plant collections. We're looking at these gorgeous plants like this neon pothos. Like I would totally buy this. This almost becomes a need for me today, but I already know better because I have a lot of pothos plants. But in terms of just like making New Year's resolutions, like I keep talking about, I need to downsize my plants. I need to do X, Y, and Z. I need to organize my plants. I need to understand that if I'm wanting to get something done, I have to move with action and move with purpose. And sometimes planning and saying to do something is different than saying, you know what, I'm going to draw the line in the sand. I'm going to do this today and it's going to happen. And, you know, I do feel bad because I feel like I've really procrastinated in my plans. So not finding that solution to actually downsize my plans or get it more curated. I'm just talking about it. It doesn't really translate to action, and therefore I don't get the results. And that goes back to the whole like New Year's resolution. If you want to make a change in your life, whether it's plants or not, then it starts with just doing it at that very moment. Anyways, let me get off of my insights and rambling. I know that you guys are here for the plants, but you know, I haven't done one of these live premieres in a while where I get to just kind of talk about plant insights and just plant commentary. And some of you guys have wanted to get to know me a little bit better, aside from me doing a face reveal, of course. But yeah, I'm going to go back to the plants. This is another urban jungle planter, and this is really interesting because it's in more like horizontal type planter. So these are ZZ Zenzi plants, and these are for $26.98. Really cute, and honestly, I could even display this in my interiors because I do like the look of the terracotta planter, and with just that mixed glaze. And they've got Epipremnum aureum and neon pothos, and then they also have philodendron lemon. Not philodendron lemon line. This is a philodendron moonlight. Beautiful plant as well. And you know, if you can grow a philodendron moonlight to a really large plant, that is a really nice statement piece plant. It does require quite a bit of light though in order for it to really maintain its yellow or neon colored leaves. Now this is another philodendron. This is another alocasia by Urban Jungle, $13.98. But what I love about it is the new planter. I can appreciate the white glaze on it because it's got the lines, like the very linear lines of the terracotta. Very nice looking plant. I was almost tempted to purchase these alocasia. Now I don't know this particular alocasia's what that alocasia plant ID is. I will revisit alocasia next year if I'm able to get some more lechuza pon, because I've noticed that converting them to lechuza pon has literally made them a lot easier to manage. And then you can see right here, this is a alocasia dragon scale. This is a beautiful one as well. Look at the undersides of the leaves. Beautiful plant, and you can see that this has a new growth right there, and it's unfurling a new leaf. Again, as far as like how you select plants when you go plant shopping, I would say inspect the plant, the top of the plant leaves, the bottoms of the leaves, the stems, the nodes, the soil, the undersides of the drainage hole to see if there's anything fuzzy, if there's anything that might potentially be plant pests. That would be one. And then number two, look for plants like signs that have like new growth points, new leaves unfurling. And then number three, if you're able to save some more money by seeing multiple plants in a plant pot, if it's a little bit more full, I would definitely invest in getting that plant versus a plant that might just have one plant. So you can actually get multiples. But as far as these alocasia, super healthy. And again, that goes to show that whenever you find a plant, just a plant restock or just new plants being put into a big box store, the best time is to go now. And so for those that like big box store plants, I would say check your local big box stores, see what plants you have. I would love to hear what plants you're finding at your big box stores. Now, a lot of the big box store plants that I'm seeing at like Lowe's, for instance, they are coming out in full force. You're seeing quite a bit of plants in general, and that's super exciting to me because then as far as like the new year coming along, plant foldies, we're going to see more of that. Anyways, I'm just going to keep showing you more plants. Let me know in the comments what you think. This one right here is an Aglaonema Silver Bay. Everybody needs this plant. Please buy this plant because it's so easy to care for.
And you can see this plant right here. We've got a Calathea Dottie. This one is only for $15.98 on clearance too. Really nice looking plant as well. You know, I have this plant. Unfortunately, it is challenging to grow. You can see that some of the leaves are already crisping, and we can see a bunch of other trending tropical plants like this philodendron pink princess right here by Costa Farms, $19.98 in a self-watering planter. And I've been eyeing these Aglaonema right here, this Aglaonema red Siam, just because look at the leaves. They're a lot more red than the typical Aglaonema red Siam. Beautiful plant. Yes, it's a common plant. Yes, it's a plant that you will see it pretty much at any big box store. But I would be tempted to purchase this one specifically because it does have those beautiful red leaves. Now, I would say for this particular Aglaonema, the more light you give it, the better coloration it's going to give, or at least I believe it is, because I've seen it happen where I ended up flooding it with quite a bit of bright indirect light and just really growing it under a grow light, and it pushed out a lot of that red. Now, I do have a plant foldy viewer from Canada, Kathy, who really wants a red Aglaonema. I hope you do find some red Siams. They're super easy, super fun to take care of. They're really easy to care for, and they're quite cost effective. So hopefully, Kathy, you find them. And you can see that these Aglaonema red Siam, there's several plants in one pot. And that's the thing I love about Aglaonema too, is they push out little baby pups. So that's something that you could add to your plant collection. So again, plant foldies, if you haven't already, I would say for your New Year's resolution, your plant New Year's resolution, buy an Aglaonema, add one to your plant collection. I already know it's going to make the world in terms of just making your plant collection even more interesting. And it'll make me super happy because I do think that Aglaonemas are so underrated, and they're often seen at a big box store like Home Depot or Lowe's. So again, leave in the comments plant foldies if you bought it. And it was really fun to see a plant foldie reach out to me via Instagram and send me a message about importing plants or getting plants from overseas. I ended up getting them connected with Green Spaces ID, and I'm so excited that they were able to place an order with confidence. If you haven't checked out Green Spaces ID again, and you want to do a order through their website, you can add GrowFolds20 for 20% off of your entire purchase from Green Spaces ID. That's my promo code, so definitely check that out. But again, plant foldies, Aglaonema, all of these easy to care for plants, these are available at this Lowe's. And as I pan away here, they've got quite a bit of a selection. I'm excited to see them get this area even more full. So we'll see what plants start to populate and come out in the market. But overall, you know, we've got a lot of these Aglaonemas, we've got some Calatheas, we've got some philodendron, and an I spin around over here, we've got some Xanthosoma, and you've got to love some Xanthosoma. Very easy to care for plant. I thought it would be a little bit more finicky. Love that striping, that zebra look on the leaves. Beautiful plant, and it's got a nice narrow shape as well. Really love the look at that. And this is again a trending tropicals plant for $19.98 in a self-watering planter. It is a plant that does like bright indirect light. Some people say that is pretty much related to a caladium. Not 100% sure, but what I do know is I love the plant. It's grown very well for me. It will let you know when it needs to get watered because the leaves start to droop. And then let's take a look at these Aglaonema Pink Lady Valentines, or Pink Valentine. Love this as well. And you know, with Valentine's Day just literally around the corner, you got to think January is almost here, then February. As far as any pink plant lovers, Aglaonema Valentine is one I would recommend. This one's for $19.98. This is another Costa Farms trending tropical plant. I hope that Costa Farms releases even more Aglaonema this year. And now I do get that Aglaonemas, to get the numbers they need to put it at a big box store, takes time, but hopefully we'll see more Aglaonema because they are just plants. And I'm pretty sure if you counted the amount of times I've already mentioned how everybody needs to buy Aglaonemas, it would be more than like 20 times during this video. But like I said, I love them. I'm very passionate about them. I feel like the more we talk about Aglaonemas, the more we show people
aglaonemas that people would be more inclined to at least try to grow the plant. Like, it's not one of those super rare plants, but at the same time, they're so easy because they are low light tolerant. They can be a little bit more drought tolerant. And as far as pests, I don't really see a lot of pests on aglaonemas. They do get susceptible to fungus diseases, so you don't really want to keep them in like really wet conditions either. I've noticed that if you start to see some browning, definitely get rid of the leaf as soon as possible, because you don't want that to spread on your plants. Otherwise, it is an easy to care for plant. And this particular location has many pink Valentine aglaonema. I'm a huge fan of pink plants in general, and the fact that I want to buy another one, even though I already have 3 of this kind in my collection, goes to show that I don't mind having multiples of specific plants, especially aglaonemas. And again, plant foldies, if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching through this. You know, that is one way to really help my videos, is if you're going to watch my videos, hopefully you will watch through the whole video. Hit the like button for this video, and if you feel inclined to contribute to the Live Premiere Chat's goal, or by giving me a super thanks or a super sticker as a monetary tip for some of my efforts, I would really appreciate that. Again, you're not necessarily needing to, you're definitely not obliged to do so, but for those that have done that in the past, I really appreciate you. Now, as far as the Phalaenopsis orchids, again, I only have one Phalaenopsis orchid in my plant collection. It is still out of bloom, so I'm hoping that I can get it to rebloom. But, you know, Phalaenopsis orchids are pretty easy to find at any store. You can find them pretty much everywhere. And as far as like being able to take care of them, as long as you're not overwatering the Phalaenopsis orchids, then they're good to go. They honestly thrive in neglect. Like, if you leave them alone, they will just do fine. If you do provide them with a little bit more light, that's going to help push out those blooms a lot faster. Now, these ones I believe are a mix of like Costa Farms plants as well as some other vendors. And you can see this beautiful Pachira aquatica right over here, or money tree plant. And then you can see the leaves there. Love it as well. I do have a variegated money tree, thanks to my friend Vic of Vine off of Instagram. I happened to find a variegated Pachira aquatica at a DFW plant swap. So again, plant swaps are another way to get some plants acquired for a little bit more cost-effective plant pricing. Now you can see right here, this is some type of Thenanthe plant. Really like the look of that as well. And it's interesting that Costa Farms has released a bunch of these large ones. And we'll take a look at some of these clearance plants right here, aka Rescue Me Now, Help Me plants. You know, this one right here is an Aglaonema Red Siam. It is 50% off, but there's only one plant here, and this one is going to need some major rehab. The problem with Aglaonemas is once they start to get leggy, once they start to really decline in health, it is really challenging to get them to come back to their health. It takes a while for them to show signs of new growth. So I would just say sometimes some plants are going to just have to go to plant heaven. Sometimes the amount of effort we put into trying to rehab plants are a little bit more than what we're willing to put. At least for me, I just feel like sometimes the energy we place on rehabbing plants could be spent on like 2 or 3 healthy plants that are currently in your plant collection. So it might be controversial in a sense that maybe people have different, you know, views about it. I used to be very gung-ho about you know, rescuing plants at big box stores, but I've noticed that sometimes the monetary value that we save is not necessarily worth the amount of effort and time. And when you think about it, as the new year is about to ring in, time is about the essence, and it's one of those things where time is precious, time is fleeting, and you have to really make every minute count. I know, plant foldies, I probably have talked your ear off. I probably rambled on more so about non-related plant things than the actual plants itself, but I do feel comfortable. I feel comfortable being able to be myself and just being able to kind of treat my plant shopping videos as almost like a podcast. And, you know, as far as podcasts, again, if you haven't already, definitely check out the Cultivation Corner YouTube channel. Search Cultivation Corner. It is all about plants, plant topics. Me, Janae Simone, and Stephen of I Live Plants have worked very hard to make that content. And hopefully you guys will follow our journey. Season 2 is coming around the corner. Episode 4, we talk about plant burnout. Hopefully you guys will share our videos. And actually, plant foldies, if you have social media like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Share my my channel to more plant lovers like yourself. That is one of my biggest goals, is maybe by the end of January 2025, we will reach 12,000 plant foldies. So with the help of you sharing my videos, watching through my videos, hitting the like button, leaving comments, and just engaging with me, I think as a community we'll be able to reach that goal. At least that's my personal goal for the channel. Now, as far as the plants that I'm picking up, these are all the 6-inch planters. I really love 6-inch planters because I feel like these hanging basket ones are more manageable. $16.98 by Costa Farm. So you saw the neon pothos. Now you're seeing this type of Hoya, and Hoyas, I swear, are one of the most forgiving plants in terms of being underwatered. Like literally you cannot water a Hoya. It'll look like it's about to die, and then you water it and then the leaves just like inflate again. Calatheas, unfortunately, like this Calathea dotty, is not as forgiving. Like if you do not stay on top of the watering, if you don't give it that humidity level, it can go the other way very quickly. It's screaming to go to plant heaven. It's screaming to put itself out of misery. And so as far as a beginner plant, Calatheas are just not doing it for me. I would not recommend that for anybody. Now this Hydra Helix, or this Hedera Helix, this is the only version I've seen. This is the Ingrid Liz one for $7.98. Now I do like the look of it. I do like English ivy, and for those that always ask me why I obsess about English ivy, it's because it looks like a maple leaf, and I love maple trees. I collect maple trees. I have an extensive collection of Japanese maples, or Acer palmatum. I just haven't really filmed a lot of that on my plant channel, but that's something that I may pepper in the plant content. I'm trying not to overwhelm you guys with lots of different plant content. You know, when it comes to the YouTube algorithm, sometimes when you pivot or deviate away from your typical plant content, it may not get recommended as much. And so I'm trying to still stay close to the core of this channel, which is big box store plant shopping videos. But know that in 2025, as the new year comes around, I'm going to be showing you a lot of my plant collection, my personal plant collection, houseplant tour. I'm willing to do live streams where I'm doing Q&A sessions. I may even do my own little plant podcast as well. We'll see what that all looks like. And then I will do how-to videos. I will also show you some plant styling. So I just talked about like not overwhelming you with lots of different plant content, but we'll just see. You know, those are just some of my ideas. Now, plant foldies, I really hope you guys have liked this video so far in terms of big box store plant shopping. It's been a while for me. You know, and when I say it's been a while, it's literally been about a week and a half where I have not gone into a big box store and actually done plant shopping videos, but it has been fun just seeing these plants that I've seen multiple times, but being able to pick them up. Like this is a Live Trends hydroponic plant. This one is a Dracaena for $14.98. Really like the look of that as well. And then you can see that there are some more Dracaenas right here. You can see that they've also got a trellis type plant. This one is for $18.98 of some type of Hoya. You can put Hoyas on a trellis, like a circular trellis like this, that to style it, and I think that's super cute. And as far as all of these Live Trends plants on this end cap right here, let me know which ones you would buy, and then I'm going to spin around here and show you all of these other plants, and let me know what you think about them as well. And as I wrap this up, I am excited about the New Year's coming around. Again, please hit the like button for this video. I hope you've enjoyed today's installment. I hope to have a brand new video for New Year's Eve or a live stream. Definitely check that out tomorrow. This is Richie at Grow Folds. Please subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow.